Shit. Good to see you, bro. You good?
I know that hurt.
Why do you make that decision to let that ball hang in the air? You throw it late.
They gave you a completion percentage award, and all you did was throw check downs and bubble screens. That's actually crazy. I throw the ball downfield, you don't. You ran the ball. You had a run game. You had a run game.
Is Shedeur Sanders overrated? Is he only being considered a first-round draft pick because of his last name? Well, no. If you think so, you probably just don't watch football for a long time. But the conversation around Shedeur Sanders has been very polarizing. And I'll be honest with you, I reveal my bias. I'm a Deion Sanders guy. I've been watching a lot of Shedeur Sanders. I watch a lot of Colorado games. And when I look at him, I see a guy that probably wouldn't be a first-round pick in a stacked quarterback draft class, but we don't have a stacked quarterback draft class this year. So he is a first round talent. I'm sorry. And last year he probably would have been late first round, maybe early second round talent, because he does in fact have a lot of skills and a lot of great intangibles to go a boot with it. But I think some people are overrating, but I think a lot more people are trying to demean what he is as a quarterback. Look, he's a good quarterback. He's not generational. He's not miles ahead of anything, but neither was Tom Brady. And I'm not comparing him to Tom Brady. Let's calm down. But neither was Kirk Cousins. I'm not comparing him to Kirk Cousins, but you get what I'm saying. There can be a build, archetype, a prototype that might not seem as flashy, but maybe give him some time in the league and he might be able to flourish a little bit in different eras. Baker Mayfield, because I know I said Tom Brady and some of y'all just absolutely fainted, but that is another gentleman who was able to find success in an unconventional way when a lot of people doubted him and doubted his ability. So today we're gonna look at some stats, we're gonna look at some facts, we're gonna look at some people's opinions, and also just straight up look at some film, right? And start off with this cool little Cam Ward moment. Watch him throw a little bit and just see how we feel, how we evaluate, and answer the question: is Shedeur Sanders overrated, man? If you're enjoying these videos, college football videos, we're starting to get into the draft stuff with the offseason, man. If there's any video that you want to see, any breakdown that you want to see, let me know, man, down below. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it, subscribe if you enjoy the content. Let's hop right into it. This is going to be the most entertaining, if both of these guys pan out, the most entertaining rivalry of all time.
They gave you a completion percentage award, and all you did was throw check downs and bubble screens. That's actually crazy. If I did that, my completion percentage would be 90. I throw the ball downfield, you don't.
Jeez.
You had a run game.
Jeez. He said you had a run game. Okay, so what he's talking about is this right here. So how did I not know this? Shedeur Sanders holds the all-time record for career completion percentage in college football. And this is no like, because of blah, 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 he only played. Nope. This is like a minimum 875 pass attempts. And look at the names. These are college football legends. Colt Brennan, Colt McCoy. That's two Colts. That's kind of crazy. Kellen Moore. I mean, come on now. Offensive coordinator. Wait, is Kellen Moore a head coach now? Graham Harrell, Grayson McCall, Will Rogers, Brandon Whedon, Case Keenum has one of the most. Look, little kids. I know I might have some youngins watching this. Not a lot of youngins. Shout out to my people who know. But go watch you some Case Keenum. I mean, these are some of the great. Joe Burrow. Y'all know about Joe Burrow. I know Baker Mayfield, Teddy Two Gloves. I mean, these are some legendary. Brock Purdy. Hey, okay, Brock. Okay, Brock. But yeah, nevertheless, legendary quarterbacks there on this list. So let's get to the fun part. Let's get to the film. Let's get to some, hopefully some non-copyrighted stuff I would like to start with, and then we'll get into some of these hot takes. Actually, how about we get into the hot takes first? Y'all know what y'all want, man. I know what y'all want to see, man. We've got some good, and we've also got some bad. This guy right here, first round mock, he's notoriously awful. But he also, predicted that apparently Jaden Daniels would not be good at football.
Derek Stingley Jr., and I believe he should not be considered as a first-round draft pick by NFL teams. Receiver Drake London is not a first-round draft pick and should not be. Kyle Hamilton is not a first-round draft pick, nor should he be. Liberty quarterback Malik Willis, and why I feel he's the most dynamic player who was taken in the 2022 NFL draft. I go wrong, just say a little prayer.
Yeah, so the same guy that said Jaden Daniels is the worst quarterback in the draft, the same guy that said Derek Stingley, don't talk about the Sting, all right? Said Derek Stingley isn't a first-round talent. I mean, but just to preface so you understand his ball knowledge, he thinks Shedeur Sanders is a terrible quarterback. So, hey, I just want to check biases, dog. I gave you my bias. I got to give you his bias. So this is pretty notorious. This was that BYU game where I gotta be honest with you, Shedeur looked terrible. Like we can all agree, there's some games where he looks bad. I mean, you can have a bad game, and he looked awful. But showing this blitz that just didn't get picked up correctly, as the reason why he's so terrible. And then here's what makes me here's the crazy thing about it. Against number 17 BYU, if you were watching the channel throughout the college football season, BYU consistently showed up as one of the most dominant defenses the entire year. There wasn't just some number 17 BYU. That is a dynamic and dominant defense, but that's not the point, because this is still a bad play from Shedeur. I get it. This is one of his problems. Not necessarily that he always holds the ball, because he does do that, but I think more so that his intentions with holding the ball, right? He's trying to make something. Can I just stay alive? Dog, it's 3rd and 7, right? We have to know on 2nd and 3 we can, maybe we can do something, but on 3rd and 7, we got to protect ourselves. We're coming into the, you know what I mean? We got to protect the points at this point. You can't take a sack on 3rd and 7 in the red zone. You're just taking points away. So I do agree that this is one of the worst things about his game. And here it is again on 3rd and 3. This is horrendous. This is the one that you should have pointed out, because this is where it gets real nasty here, right? So this is 3rd and 3. They're on the 10-yard line, and he just decides that. And the pressure is here. I would like to see him kind of step up, and he did a lot of that this season. But the problem with Shedeur, and my probably biggest issue with him, is that he has a habit of getting afraid after he gets sacked. And let me rephrase that. I'm not saying he's not tough. I actually, quite the contrary. I think he's doing this because he's like, oh, dang, they're not blocking for me, so I don't want to risk stepping up, because if I do so, it's going to be an immediate sack, because there's a lot of good throws that he has on film. We're going to get to it, where he steps into them, right, and he shows a lot of, I think resilience in the pocket is one of his biggest things, but I think when he gets beaten down and battered, there's not a lot of space there. This pocket's getting moved, but he does not make it better for himself. He tries to stiff arm, tries to keep it alive, and we go from being on the 7-yard line. Like you can't do that. You can't run like 50 yards back. Like, this is a game that, I think Shedeur aided in getting out of hand the way it did. Again, we're going to start with the bad. We're going to go to the good. This is one of, I think, and I don't think there's a lot, this is one of the worst decisions Shedeur Sanders has ever made on a football field, right? We have to think about this. Being a quarterback, you have to know what you can do. I think that's a big thing. You have to know yourself. You have to know that what your arm can and can't do. And I think Shedeur, when we get to some more positive things, I think that's one of the things that he does best is he knows that he can't push the ball down the field. He knows his strong suit is his lack of zip, right? That's not his strong suit. Is his zip, his velocity on the ball. So he typically chooses passes to benefit there. This is just like, when I remember watching this, like, why? You're in the black zone. You're on your 1-yard line. You're seeing what are we showing here? What is this? There's another safety here. You're showing it could be a cover. It could be a cover 4-ish, but he's pressed up. You got this corner pressed up. This could be like a bluff cover 3. Looks like they can roll to cover 3, but honestly, it looks like just something base. So it's looking cover 2-ish with this robber running around here, right? You're getting that set. You've got a running back next to you. First off, who's calling this play? And then second off, the decision that was made is absolutely horrendous. And this is my guy, Matt Wilder. So I'm going to let this not play, but I'm going to try to get to our point. So here's what I'm saying. We're on the far hash. Two things. When he decides to make this throw, and then the fact that he decides to make this throw. Okay, boom. I appreciate him for stopping. Look at where he's a yard off of this far hash, trying to throw a curl to the numbers, and look when the ball is being released, he's already out of his break. This is the only way this could be a farther throw is that if he was running an out, like a 10-yard or 20-yard out. That's the only way this throw could be any further for him and could use any more velocity. And what does it end up in? A pick six. But why? Why do you make that decision to let that ball hang in the air? You throw it late in the black zone. I'm going to call it the dark black zone. It's just decisions like that do make people scratch your head. They do make people see like, well, what is going on here, right? But I do have to also say there's a lot of good in there, right? There's a lot of good pudding in there, right? And then, you know, pros and cons here. I don't really buy into all this stuff too much because, you know, you have to see what it plays out. So let's actually get into it. Now that whole zip conversation, I don't think it is a big dealio, like I said, because I think he understands how to manage it. I think, you know, people are comparing him to Joe Burrow at XYZ. So I think he's learning a more efficient way to show it. So here is what another account says. So can throw on the run. Accurate short to intermediate, which, yeah, pocket presence is good and it can improve. I think his resilience and toughness is bigger there than really the way that he works the pocket. Commands the offense. He does a good job of that. I think he needs to. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Commands the offense. Can take unnecessary sacks. Oh, okay. There we go. Ball comes out a tad slow on RPO. Yep, and mobile enough. He's very underrated because he's not fast. He's just not fast. But again, mobile enough. He can get there when he can't get there. So let's watch this. I don't even know what pass this is. Is this out to this one? I think it's going to go to Jimmy Horn. You know, we're trying to avoid what's it called? Copyrights here. So we go a little play action. Rolling to our left here. And understand this is rolling to his left backwards with pressure in his face, right? And then he just gives it up. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was going to do something cool. He did not do cool. He just, okay, so this is more negatives and kind of shows you the problem there. Is he going to do any positive stuff here? Okay, cool. All right, this is what I was expecting him to do. All right, half roll. Jeez. Half roll to the left, gets his body turned around and throws a dart. I think he's really good. Like I said, throwing on the run. I think he gives himself a lot of good space and really good angles to get his arm out there. And then just the placement, man. That's where his bread's going to be buttered, right? If you want Shedeur Sanders, you think Drew Brees. Again, I'm not saying he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Just think Drew Brees as in, hey, know your limitations, but I can put it in a lot of places, right? You're putting this. Look at this. You're putting this over a linebacker, and then there's two other defenders. And he puts it low, too. So it's not just, oh, I'm going to just throw it up there so someone can go jump and get it. No, that's a hard ball to catch. He knows what he's doing, and he's manipulating the right way. Play action. I mean, that's just RPO. I don't know what you want me to do back there. Oh, check this out. He was helping on the block side. Nah, he didn't help much. I wouldn't expect him to help. Outside there, that's another quick out. You don't want to see nothing too crazy there. Again, ball placement and his ability. There's a lot of touch there. There's a lot of, you know, the intermediate zone, I think, is where he shines the most. Attacking the middle field, I think, is where he shines the most. Again, we talk about his problem with his arm talent. So stretching and hitting those out throws is probably not going to be what he is going to be known for. It's not going to be where he breads his butter. But, man, he hits the middle of the field with fearless abandonment, and I think that's important. Just the thought process, right? I think there's some quarterbacks who just don't want to even throw those balls, but he loves it, and I think he's not afraid of it in any way, fashion, or shape. And then you see throws like this. This is where, like, what I mean by he understands what his arm can't and can do, right? And he knows what to get out of it, right? This is not the most velocity-filled ball over a defender, and it's going to go through the hands of another defender, and it's a soft ball to be able to catch on the ground. Like, these are real deal NFL throws. These are crazy windows that he's throwing into, right? And then we talk about the pocket presence, which can be shoddy, right? Which can be shoddy. But I think he does allow it to shine in other places, and I think he's displayed growth. I think that's the biggest thing. Is last season, I think it's easy to say, hey, he holds on to the ball too long. He held on to the ball for different reasons. Like, there was a reason typically why he did it. It doesn't mean it made him right, but there was typically a reason, right? And especially if, you know, I mean, look the way he's moving this pocket. This is not somebody who's afraid. He's seeing and feeling, okay, I've got space here. I got space here. Okay, cool. I'm going to navigate the pocket. I'm going to step up, and I'm going to make something happen. Man, he is fearless around the red zone. Nice arm angle. I mean, talk about velocity and rip, and we'll let this play at full speed here. I mean, that he puts that ball in peculiar placements, man, in absolute peculiar placements, and I think it's gonna pay off for him as well. Here he is again. This is again showing what he can do in the pocket, showing that he has toughness and resilience in the pocket. Again, don't get it twisted. I know he makes mistakes in the pocket, but I don't want you to think that it's a negative. He can't do things in the pocket, because he throws that with somebody bearing down on him and his offensive tackle getting whooped, absolutely demolished. And look at the ball placement, man. Look at that. Come on, dog. He can put it wherever he wants, anytime he wants, Doig. Anytime he wants. He learns from mistakes. He improves as a player. We can go to film on film on film. Let's see this North Dakota. Now we are too busy worrying about the Browns. Here's some clips of Shedeur Sanders dropping absolute dimes. So let's check it out. Boom, we're here with it. And then this is what I mean. The first game of the season against North Dakota State, he displays that. He displays there's a change in toughness. There's a change in, look, if you give me a pocket, I'm going to stay in that pocket. And he steps in that phone booth and he delivers a ball, right? And that thing floundered out of there, but look what he's reading. He's reading this safety. This safety's cooked, dog. He knows it, and he's just waiting for him to come underneath. Boom. Jimmy Horn's gone for a long time, and we just looked at this one. Another absolute dime. Here he is against K-State, I believe, again. And then, again, the middle of the field is his domain. That's where he likes to play. That's where he likes to put the ball out there. Rolling left with pressure in his face. He don't care. Look at that on the sideline, layered between another defender looking ugly on that backside. And then this is my favorite throw of the year. Let me gush over this throw. This personifies what I mean by, I really think Shedeur Sanders isn't overrated or even overhated. I think he's misunderstood. I think we attribute certain things to him in this hold the ball, and he can't, people see him hold the ball and take bad sacks and immediately think, oh, he's terrible with the pocket presence and he can't. No. It's not that. He just makes odd decisions. He wants the big throw. We have to think about why he's holding the ball. He's holding the ball because he wants the big throw. Sometimes his offensive line betrays him, right? Sometimes his arm betrays him, right? But the intentions behind holding the ball, right? What we'll see here, takes this 3-step drop. Boom, sees pressure. Okay, let me find my spot in the pocket. And then absolutely with somebody coming undone, he feels that pressure, takes one step, sees what he likes, uncorks it while getting hit, and lets that thing hang in the air, dog. And no one else but Willie Shepard can come underneath it. Half roll again, going to his left. That was just, you know what I'm saying? Oh, sorry, this is not a half roll. This is a full roll. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, he half rolled. I didn't even notice that he did what he did. Oh, my goodness. He said, whoop. You know what I'm saying? Hit one of them spins, continues to roll left, and then hits you-know-who on the sideline. Look, there's a lot to love. There's a lot to hate. There's a lot to criticize about. But I think the biggest thing that you're going to get with Shedeur is somebody with a lot of intangibles, right? This is him. This is him on his way to Radio Row. He's at a high school getting work in. And a lot of people talk about, especially when he throws against Cam or side by side against Cam, all the zip difference and this and that. Look, man, so you got to play your game, man. And he's not a zip guy. He's a placement guy. And if he keeps consistent there and he gets his feet underneath them, right, I think he can soar. Here he is throwing the deep ball, right, which of course highly criticized about. I think the ball floats out of his hand nice. I think it's smooth, it's clean. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not Cam Ward, but Cam Ward I think can throw a golf ball through 17 layers of the earth. I think that boy's got some generational flavor on his ball. I think if Shedeur understands what he is, understands how to, because he loves them posts, understands how to attack those safeties and picks his poison, right, and doesn't put his arm in too many peculiar situations, I think it's going to be better for everything. But hey, man, that's just us taking a peek at Shedeur Sanders, a little bit of film, breaking down. Put some respect on his name, man. We know what he is, we know what he's not, and don't pretend and be surprised when he goes in the top 10, man. But y'all let me know in the comments down below what you think about Shedeur. Is he overrated, understated? evaporated. I don't know. I'm just making it worse at this point. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it, subscribe if you enjoy college football content and coverage. Hey man, let's get ready for that draft. We'll see you next time. Peace.